Hey loves. So I made another channel. On this channel, I will be doing true crime, ghost stories, creepypastas, etc. I will be doing a face reveal on there, so you can see the person behind this account. Make sure to go subscribe. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I will be posting a video. The link to the channel is in the description. I still will be posting TikTok compilations on here, but hopefully I'll see you guys on the other channel.
Now on to the video, Chili.
1, 2, 3, funk it.
Here are 5 things you should never do when using a Ouija board. Or do them, I don't care. Number 1, never play alone. Always ask a friend. Number 2, never store the board with a planchette resting on it. Number 3, never play while you are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It offends the spirits. Number 4, never ask the spirit to prove their presence. And number 5, never forget to say goodbye.
Let's talk about the ghost of the bath. Blythwood Square in Glasgow was the place to be in the 1800s, but when Captain Smith moved his family there, little did they know of its dark and sinister past. One night, he was getting ready to have a bath when he saw the apparition of a beautiful woman strangling someone in the bathtub. Weeks later, his son was using the bathroom when he saw a bloated, lifeless body of an elderly man submerged in the bath. Apparently, the house had previously been occupied by a wealthy elderly gentleman who, as frailty set in, became increasingly dependent on his young nursemaid, who, seeing an opportunity to enrich herself, persuaded the old man to make her his wife. Several weeks later, the man was reported dead, said to have drowned in the bath. Shortly after the old man's funeral, the property was put up for sale and the young woman was never seen again.
Wait until you see the ghost of a little girl who appears to be haunting the home of her killer. That's the picture there. I'll show you more in a second. But that's Chris Watt. You remember the story. 2018, he murdered his whole family, 2 little girls and his wife. The only reason he was caught was because he was caught on security camera footage pulling out of the driveway, and his neighbors caught it on camera. Then he teamed up with police and sent a canine unit into his house, and he was pretending the whole time that he didn't know where his family was. But on video, as the canine unit's walking through the house, look up on the staircase. Do you see the apparition of a little girl walking down the stairs? I'm going to slow it down even more for you. Is this a little girl standing right there, as if to say, "Daddy, I'm here. You're the man that killed me. I'm looking over the railing at you while you're walking through the house with police pretending you don't know that you killed me." What do you think it is? Is it her? Look at her hands on the railing. That looks like a little girl. What do you think?
So here's the story about the time a ghost followed me home. I'll probably have my parents put their input in because they were here and experienced the whole thing. So I'm a YouTuber and most of my videos are me exploring the most haunted places in the world. So my friend and I, we were going to a lot of these haunted places filming consistently. I don't know where we went, but it was either the Queen Mary or I think the Mission in San Juan Capistrano. Not sure which one, but we were there prior to this happening. So her and I were on our way to the Hotel del Coronado to film another haunted video. And I receive a call from my parents freaking out. I've never seen my dad freaked out like this. He was like, "You need to stop with this ghost shit. You need to come home. Like, you can't do this anymore." And obviously I'm very confused. So he explains what happened and it was insane. And I'm posting part 2 right now so you don't have to wait for it. So my mom, my dad, and my sister who lived here at the time, they were all here. They're here right now so they could actually put their input in. My dad's gonna explain it.
So we're sitting on the couch, I'm watching TV, and I look over and the cat is walking in super duper slow motion towards us, like it's stalking something, and it's staring at the corner in the ceiling. And it gets a little closer, and it gets a little closer, and it's staring at the corner, and I'm like, what's the cat looking at? And then it just hits the ceiling and bounces off the top of the ceiling, and then runs away. And then they wouldn't come back in the room for like an hour.
Yeah, it was freaky,
ridiculous.
freaky.
And it was right after you went and you did your ghost shit, so.
They blamed it on you for sure.
So you guys think it was a ghost?
For sure, because it's all.
Do I think it was a ghost? It was probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. I mean, the cat went from right here to hitting the ceiling.
Part 3, to explain this a little better, so my friend's cat and my cat are sisters. Her cat was here all the time, so my parents were just watching both of our cats while we were out filming. So her cat's the one who hit the ceiling. My cat came back in.
So after Boo hit the ceiling and ran out and didn't come back, Luna sat in one spot, like stuck, staring at the ceiling, just freaking out for, I don't know, like 45 minutes, just wouldn't even move. Wouldn't, like, and so we're freaked out because you're doing all your ghost stuff.
Yeah.
You and Maddie just got back from doing whatever.
And then we were on our way somewhere else too, and you guys called us. So after that, my parents obviously wanted me to get rid of the ghost, and we did somehow. We looked it up online, we looked up all the stuff, just how to get rid of ghosts, telling it to go away, sage, all this stuff, and we tried it and it actually worked. So the ghost is gone and hasn't come back. And my parents are still freaked out to this day.
So last night I was in the bathroom washing my face, and everybody was asleep. I was the only person in my house that was awake. So I'm sitting there washing my face, and I hear like this, hold up, tapping right next to my fucking face. So I dry off my eyes and I look next to me and I don't see anything, and I couldn't see anything that would be making that noise. So I'm like, okay, we're fine, and I go back to washing my face. Then I hear my floors in my living room, like right around here, start creaking. Like somebody was walking around my living room. So I dry off my eyes again and I look into the living room to see if I see anything, and there's nothing there. So at that point, I'm getting a little fucking freaked out because I'm worried. So I look at my kitchen one last time and my lights are fucking flickering. So I was like, okay, you know what, that's enough for me tonight. I'm just gonna go to my room. So I just went in my room, I shut my door, and I stayed in my room. And that's all that happened that night, but it only gets worse.
I can confirm that this is a true story. In 2004, a 16-year-old boy who was staying with a friend in their cabin up in New Hampshire was having a hard time falling asleep. Around 3 a.m., he was still awake, and he remembers thinking how eerily quiet and totally pitch black the house was. And that's when he heard it. The front door opens and someone comes inside and begins walking through the house down the hallway right outside of his door where it stops. The door opens and the boy is instantly petrified because in walks this tall, shadowy figure that marches to the center of the room and then bows onto the ground and disappears. The boy stays up all night, terrified that this thing's gonna re-emerge and just look at him. Finally, he hears his friend's mom making coffee in the kitchen, so he runs out to tell her what happened. The whole time he's explaining what happened, she's just looking at him with sympathy in her eyes. And finally she says, "My husband visited me last night too." Her husband was dead, and I was that 16-year-old boy.
So, do you know what this is? It's called the Devil's Face, and it appeared on the map in Atlanta. Atlanta is considered one of the most religious places on Earth, and it was told that it could signal a sign. The plans in the land formed together to make what looks like a face that was seen from a satellite. This scared so many people within Atlanta's area that they began working on the area literally to wipe it out completely. They began cutting down the trees and flattening everything until you could no longer see a face. From that point on, the face literally disappeared. Do you think this was a coincidence?
La Segua is a supernatural creature from Central American folklore. It's a shapeshifter that typically takes the form of an attractive, long-haired woman who seduces drunken and unfaithful men. She either appears to men fully naked or dressed in little clothing, or she even sometimes appears bathing in a river. She lures these men into dangerous situations, usually on moonless nights, so that she can hide her true form. At the last moment, she reveals her true face, which is that of a horse head or horse skull. Think horse girl, but make it vengeful. If her victim does not die of fear, he is usually driven mad by the sight of her. Moral of the story, as it is with most of these, it takes much less effort to just be faithful. If you guys like this one, I just wanted to include in this video that all of the Inktober originals and prints will be added to my next shop update, so the reason why you don't see them in my shop right now is because I haven't added them yet. And for those who were asking about a book, I'll be opening pre-orders for a zine in the shop update as well, which is happening November 1st at 7 p.m. EST. Also, apologies in advance for not having any eyelashes in this one.
What is a creepy, unexplained childhood experience that you had? So the summer that I was 13 years old, I had a dream where I went back to the 1800s and I met this woman, and her and I instantly clicked and we became best friends. We did everything together. I was like, we knew each other our whole lives. And she was telling me about how she had lost her son who was 9, and I was like, I'm sorry, like that sucks. She goes, no, but it's okay, you know him, you're gonna help me get him back. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know him, I can't help you get him back, but I'm sorry. And she goes, no, you know him, you're helping me get him back, but you need to wake up now. And instantly I woke up. And when I woke up, I felt something like moving from my bed. Me thinking it was my cat, I looked at the foot of my bed and I saw the woman from my dreams get up off my bed and walk into my brother's dresser, because we shared a room at the time. And there's going to be a part 2 to this, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is part 2 to my woman at the 1800 story. Am I bleeding? What the fuck? Okay, anyways, it's important to know that at the time my brother was 9 years old. So it was Saturday night, and on Saturdays we would watch a movie and on the couch and then fall asleep on the couch. So that's what we did, watched a movie, fell asleep, and then I woke up in like the middle of the night, and I remember having this gut feeling that something wasn't right. And right across from me, the woman from the 1800s from my dream was standing over my brother, staring down at him. And I remember just feeling like such a bad feeling, and I was like, that is not your son, that is my brother, get away from him now. She looked up at me and she had no face. So she walked into the kitchen, and my brother woke up crying, screaming, saying that somebody was trying to take him. So we woke up my mom, and she put me and my brother back to sleep, called my grandpa to come over, and they did like something to get rid of her. But yeah, that's her. I have so many other stories. My house was hell.
Hi, I have a job interview today, and here's a wholesome ghost story for you. So I live in Minneapolis in a 130-year-old former Victorian mansion. So obviously it's haunted as fuck. And there is one particular ghost that I knew right away when I walked in, and it is the ghost of a small boy. And I don't mean a spirit pretending to be a little boy, I mean an actual little boy. A couple mornings ago, the hallway light went out, and as I was trying to get into the door to my apartment, I felt this little kid rush up on me and stand right next to me, and I was like, whoa there, buddy, personal space. Like, I could literally feel him, like, breathing on my sweater. And later that day, I went out into the hallway to change the light bulb, and as I was going back into my apartment, I heard the tiniest little thank you. He was scared of the dark, you guys.